For many residents in the Chicagoland area, recent airstrikes on civilians in Syria are not only cause for concern, they're motivation for action. NNN's Carlin McCarthy joins us live in the studio to explain why. Carlin.
Thanks, Isabel. Last weekend, protesters took to Daley Plaza in the streets of downtown Chicago to speak out against a recent rash of bombings on the Syrian city of Aleppo. I went to the protest to learn more. Armed with signs, songs, and speakers, protesters came together to raise awareness about the violence Syrian civilians face every day. Over the last week and a half, President Bashar al-Assad's regime and the Russian Air Force have been bombing the rebel-held eastern side of the Syrian city of Aleppo. Protester Jim Kubik came to speak out against the actions of Assad and Russia. He said the bombings need to end and protections for Syrians should be put in place.
People want the violence to stop. It's really that simple, and I think that common thread links us all.
On February 27th, the United States and the United Nations announced a, quote, cessation of hostilities. However, the regime and Syrian rebels say neither side has upheld the ceasefire. According to the Syrian Observatory for Human Rights, since April 22nd, there have been 250 casualties in Aleppo, with 40 children among the dead. Last week, a bombing at a hospital in Aleppo killed at least 50 civilians, including 6 medical staff and a number of children. It was one of the most devastating recent attacks by the Assad regime. This past weekend, citizens across the globe took part in worldwide protests in solidarity with the people of Aleppo. Zina Dadouche, a Syrian resident of DeKalb, drove 1.5 hours to Chicago for the protest. She said it was the best way for her to make a difference.
I'm a student, I'm broke, I can't donate thousands of dollars, and so all I can do is raise awareness about it. It's my duty as a Syrian and as just a human being to just come out and raise awareness about it.
David Turpentine Jr., one of the organizers for Chicago's event and a member of the anti-war committee in solidarity with the struggle for self-determination, said the protest was not only about Syria, but also about the unwillingness of the United States to take action against war crimes.
I'm profoundly disturbed by how terrible a political orientation most of the anti-war opposition in this country has taken. It's decided that we just can't have an opinion upon war crimes.
Midway through the protest, participants joined marchers in Chicago's May Day March, a rally for the rights of immigrants and workers. Both groups joined together outside the Trump Tower, united in their mission to protect human rights. The protest moved some to tears and others to cheers. Although this weekend's protest is over, participants say they are hopeful for the future.
I think that Chicago is a diverse city, and I think it has a lot in common with Syria in that way. There's a lot of faiths, there's a lot of communities that are right next to one another. Being a Chicagoan and seeing how we can be successful here in that, I believe that in Syria it could be the same way.
The protesters say they want the airstrikes and targeting of hospitals to end, along with the institution of no-fly zones in Syria. U.S. Secretary of State John Kerry is due to hold urgent talks on the situation this week. He said a top priority is ending the violence in Aleppo. Back to you.